Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has taken a careful and measured approach regarding tensions between the United States and Iran during the period associated with Donald Trump's influence on foreign policy. The UK government has generally avoided fully supporting aggressive military actions. Instead, Starmer has emphasized the importance of diplomacy, stability, and international cooperation. He has urged Iran to avoid further escalation while also encouraging restraint from all sides involved in the conflict. This reflects a broader British policy tradition of balancing its close alliance with the United States while maintaining commitment to international law and multilateral solutions. At the same time, reactions within UK politics have not been uniform. Some political figures have expressed concern about Trump's approach, describing it as unpredictable and lacking a consistent long-term strategy. These criticisms highlight unease about decisions that could increase instability in the Middle East or draw allied countries into wider conflict. The UK has also taken a cautious operational stance. While maintaining its strategic partnership with the US, it has limited its involvement to defensive cooperation, such as protecting regional security interests and ensuring the safety of international shipping routes. British leaders have been clear that avoiding a broader war remains a top priority. Overall, the UK's position can be described as balanced but cautious. It supports its ally, the United States, but does not automatically endorse all actions taken during periods of tension with Iran. Instead, it consistently calls for de-escalation, dialogue, and diplomatic resolution. This approach reflects concern about the global consequences of prolonged conflict and the importance of maintaining stability in an already volatile region. Emmanuel Macron has recently expressed a number of concerns about the policies and leadership style of Donald Trump, particularly in relation to global cooperation, trade, and security. His remarks reflect a broader difference in approach between the two leaders. One major area of criticism involves trade policy. Macron has cautioned against escalating economic tensions between the United States and Europe, especially regarding proposed tariffs on European goods. He has argued that such measures could harm long-standing alliances and distract from more pressing global challenges, including economic recovery and geopolitical stability. In his view, cooperation between allies should take priority over economic confrontation. Macron has also raised doubts about certain U.S. strategic initiatives under Trump. In discussions about potential military actions, he emphasized the importance of clarity and coordination among allies. He suggested that unclear or unilateral plans could increase risks rather than resolve conflicts. France, he indicated, prefers diplomatic engagement and multilateral decision-making over rapid or force-driven responses. Another theme in Macron's comments is the need for consistency in international leadership. He has pointed out that shifting messages on key issues such as defense alliances and global security can create uncertainty among partner nations. According to Macron, effective leadership requires predictability, clear communication, and respect for established alliances like NATO. Overall, Macron's statements do not focus on personal criticism but rather on policy differences. He advocates for a rules-based international order, where major powers work together to address shared challenges. His perspective highlights a preference for diplomacy, stability, and collective decision-making, in contrast to what he views as a more unilateral and sometimes unpredictable approach from Trump. Reports indicate growing tension within Iran's leadership after the recent strikes on the UAE. President Masoud Pezeshkian is said to be extremely frustrated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, believing the attacks were carried out irresponsibly and without proper alignment with the government. This reaction points to a deeper divide between Iran's civilian leadership and its powerful military institutions. The incident has heightened concerns across the region, as the UAE faced damage to critical infrastructure, adding strain to an already fragile situation in the Gulf. What makes this more alarming is the suggestion that such actions may not be fully controlled or approved by Iran's top political leadership. This internal disconnect helps explain why Iran is often viewed as unpredictable. Authority appears to be spread across different centers of power, making it difficult for other countries to determine who is ultimately in charge of key decisions. Former U.S. President Donald Trump echoed this uncertainty in his remarks, highlighting the confusion surrounding Iran's leadership structure. His statement reflects a wider concern that unclear command and internal disagreements could increase the risk of further escalation. Overall, the situation underscores not only rising regional tensions but also the challenges created by divided leadership within Iran itself. Recent tensions over NATO and troop deployments have intensified following statements by Donald Trump, raising concerns about the future of transatlantic security cooperation. NATO has long depended on the United States as its primary military power, with American troops stationed across Europe to support collective defense. However, Trump has questioned this arrangement, arguing that several European members are not contributing enough to their own defense budgets. In particular, he has suggested the possibility of reducing or withdrawing U.S. forces from countries such as Italy and Spain. This proposal has created unease among allies, who see the American military presence as a key factor in maintaining stability and deterring potential threats. A sudden shift in troop levels could weaken NATO's readiness and send mixed signals to rival powers. The issue also highlights a broader disagreement about how the alliance should function. While European leaders emphasize unity and shared responsibility, Trump's approach focuses more on financial fairness and national interest. This difference in perspective has made negotiations more complex and, at times, strained diplomatic relations. Overall, the debate over troop deployments is not just about numbers but about the direction of the alliance itself. If the United States reduces its role, European countries may need to strengthen their own military capabilities. The outcome of this tension will likely shape NATO's effectiveness and cohesion in the years ahead. Recent tensions over NATO and troop deployments have intensified following statements by Donald Trump, raising concerns about the future of transatlantic security cooperation. NATO has long depended on the United States as its primary military power, with American troops stationed across Europe to support collective defense. However, Trump has questioned this arrangement, arguing that several European members are not contributing enough to their own defense budgets. In particular, he has suggested the possibility of reducing or withdrawing U.S. forces from countries such as Italy and Spain. This proposal has created unease among allies, who see the American military presence as a key factor in maintaining stability and deterring potential threats. A sudden shift in troop levels could weaken NATO's readiness and send mixed signals to rival powers. The issue also highlights a broader disagreement about how the alliance should function. While European leaders emphasize unity and shared responsibility, Trump's approach focuses more on financial fairness and national interest. This difference in perspective has made negotiations more complex and, at times, strained diplomatic relations. Overall, the debate over troop deployments is not just about numbers but about the direction of the alliance itself. If the United States reduces its role, European countries may need to strengthen their own military capabilities. The outcome of this tension will likely shape NATO's effectiveness and cohesion in the years ahead. Donald Trump has recently made strong statements regarding Iran, focusing mainly on security and military response. He warned that if Iran takes any aggressive action against the United States or its allies, especially targeting ships or military forces, the response from the U.S. would be extremely powerful. His message is meant to act as a warning, showing that the United States is prepared to defend itself at any cost. Trump emphasized that protecting international shipping routes, particularly in sensitive areas like the Strait of Hormuz, is very important. He suggested that the U.S. would take necessary steps to ensure that ships can move safely without interference. According to his statements, any attempt by Iran to block or attack vessels would lead to serious consequences. This reflects his approach of using strength and pressure to deal with threats. At the same time, Trump has also mentioned the possibility of dialogue. He indicated that discussions with Iran could happen and even described some talks as positive. However, he made it clear that trust remains limited, and the U.S. would not hesitate to take action if needed. His tone combines both warning and willingness to negotiate. Overall, Trump's statements show a mix of firmness and caution. He is trying to prevent conflict by sending a strong message, while still leaving room for diplomacy. This approach highlights the ongoing tension between the two countries and the importance of careful decision-making in maintaining global stability. United States-Iran-US-Iran conflict today. Tensions between the United States and Iran remain high today, especially around the strategically important Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is one of the world's most vital routes for transporting oil, so any conflict there quickly affects the global economy. Earlier today, oil prices increased after Iran claimed it had successfully targeted or stopped an American warship in the region. The United States rejected this statement and said its naval forces were operating normally. These conflicting claims have added uncertainty and raised fears about what might happen next. Even rumors or unverified reports can influence global markets, which explains the sudden rise in oil prices. At the same time, financial markets in the United States reacted cautiously. Stock prices did not move in one clear direction, showing that investors are unsure about the future. When political tensions increase, especially in areas connected to energy supply, investors often become more careful with their decisions. Another important development is the U.S. plan to assist commercial ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. American leadership has announced that naval forces will help guide vessels safely through the area. This step is meant to protect global trade and prevent further disruption. However, Iran has warned that foreign military involvement in the region could be seen as a threat, which increases the risk of confrontation. Overall, the situation remains tense but controlled. There is no full-scale war at present, yet the possibility of escalation cannot be ignored. The conflict is already influencing oil prices, trade routes, and global markets, making it a serious concern for countries around the world.